Hello, nice to meet you. So I have in my hand a collection of letters like this one, all dusty and fascinating letters. The first one, this one, date from 1910 and tells the stories of Annabelle Underwood. In this video, all you have to do is listen and enjoy the story I am about to tell you. For each story, I also created, like this one, a vintage type cover. You can tell me what you think in the comments, and of course what you think about the story too. And one more thing, I prefer to warn you, but English is not my mother tongue. I promise I will try to improve as quickly as I can, and for the acting too, I promise I will try to do my best. So now you know everything, shall we begin? This story, the first one, is called The Vial Case. Wednesday, October 19, 1910. My dear, I sincerely hope that you have been doing wonderfully well since our last meeting, which now dates back several months. It has been such a long time since we saw each other in person, but you know me. Time flies and adventures follow one after another at such a frantic pace that I unfortunately cannot find the right moment to come visit you as I would so dearly wish. Nevertheless, I promise to do everything in my power to try to come see you in the coming weeks, or at the latest in the months ahead. In the meantime, until that moment, which I hope is near, allow me to tell you in detail about this quite astonishing and fascinating puzzle that I was recently given to solve during these last eventful days. I truly think that you will greatly appreciate this mysterious affair, and that you might even manage to find the solution before I do. Has happened to you so frequently. It happened so often these past few years, and I cannot hide my annoyance about it. So, let me tell you in these finest details this absolutely incredible and extraordinary story that took place at the famous Jardin des Plantes located in Paris a few days ago. It all began with a simple letter sent by an admirer. I am starting to become well known, you know. I just solved the mystery of the killer fans, and have greatly helped recover the jewel from the Louvre East, but that I'll tell you in another letter, one thing at a time. So, I received a letter from a French scientist, an entomologist more precisely. It is always important to be precise, because every detail matters. You will understand this sentence better at the end of this story, but I'm already getting off track. In short, he was working in Paris. In case you didn't know, an entomologist is someone who studies insects. His letter was as thrilling as it was astonishing, and it immediately piqued my curiosity. I'll transcribe it for you. You better understand my excitement. Dear Mr. Annabelle Underwood, I am taking the liberty of contacting you because I heard through a mutual friend, General Durand, that you enjoy investigations and above all, solving them. I ran into him last Friday and told me he knew you personally. That's how I came into possession of your address. What luck! How fate works in mysterious way. Indeed, a mystery within the establishment where I'm currently working, at the Entomology Gallery of the Jardin des Plantes, arose some time ago without either myself or my colleagues being able to explain it. After discussing it with General Durand, he gave me your contact information, thinking you would be the person most capable of solving this investigation. He himself has not managed to reach a convincing conclusion about this case. The matter being that a scarab of inestimable value, at least in my eyes, had changed size as if by magic. I am only a student, but I can assure you that one of the scarabs in our display cases are grown by a millimetre. That may not seem like much to you, but it's supposed to have been pinned and dead for years. My classmate and I verified, and it is indeed the right specimen, a very rare type of beetle found only in a very particular region of China. When I mentioned this to my thesis supervisor so that he would let us access the display case, since he has the key, he flew into a rage, telling me I was stupid, that it was the fact of not having seen it for several days that had muddied my mind. Indeed, I went on an expedition for months, and upon my return, he had changed size. But that's not all that caught my attention and reinforced my doubts. Indeed, the pins used to hold its body is not stuck in the same place on the board. The marks from the old position are still clearly perfectly visible on the wood. Could someone have switched the insects? But for what purpose? And, in such a case, where has the old specimen on display gone? And, if it is indeed the same specimen, why remove it only to put it back? Moreover, could there be a connection with the sudden disappearance of our colleagues, Mr. Thomas, in the unfortunate accident of a failed experiment that occurred precisely during the period of my trip? You surely must have read about this story in the newspaper. If you agree to take up the challenge, I invite you to come meet me in Paris at the Jardin des Plantes to discuss it in greater length. My most sincere regret, Georges de Ratour. Intriguing, isn't it? For me, it certainly was, and as soon as I finished reading that letter, I rushed to the station, suitcase in hands, to solve this case. I was living at the time in the south of France, close to the Spanish border. The journey was long. The trip took me the entire day. And so I arrived the following morning in the capital, exciting as a flea at the prospect of this most astonishing new investigation. I strongly suspected that something else was hidden behind this story, something far more important and surely far more dramatic. Taking a cab at the exit of Montparnasse station, I gave the driver the address of the Jardin des Plantes. Although it was early, Paris was already bursting with life. She didn't bear the name City of Life for nothing. Outside, newspaper vendors were already announcing the headlines, such as the proclamation of the Portuguese Republic. It didn't take us very long to reach the park, half an hour at most. I announced my name at the entrance. The guard looked at me somewhat surprised that a woman alone should present herself so early in the morning before him. In short, he made me wait. 10 minutes later, a young man came running up. With an enormous smile on his lips, he presented himself before me, somewhat out of breath. He said he was very happy and surprised at my prompt arrival following his letter. He hadn't expected to hear from me so quickly, much less to see me in person so soon. Mr. de Ratour politely invited me to follow him into the Zoology Gallery. He then led me upstairs when the Entomology Gallery was located. I had only been there once during my childhood with my parents. Suffice to say, it was a completely rediscovery of the place, my childhood memories having destroyed reality. I had the memory of a gigantic place. The place is large, certainly, but not monumental. But the architectures remain beautiful, with its grand hall richly adorned with multitude of species around the great glass roof. If you had the opportunity to go there, I advise and recommend it. I follow him along the display cases on the second floor. After the butterflies and arachnids, he finally stopped before the last display case and pointed to me a small beetle at the bottom right, which couldn't have measured more than 3 or 4 millimeters. A tiny work of art, a treasure of nature. It was sumptuous, with its elongate body and magnificent greenish reflection, reminiscent of those of the scarab from the temple of ancient Egypt. He explained to me in great detail that it was precisely this famous beetle that posed so many questions for him and that had occupied all his thoughts for several weeks, gradually revealing the depth of his thinking to me, and after some hesitation, he finally confessed with a certain gravity that he strongly suspected that this famous manipulation has been carried out either before, after, or perhaps even during the tragic unfolding of Mr. Thomas' incident. I rather suspected as much, in truth. The Parisian press had only spoken of it very briefly and rather vaguely, simply mentioning an unfortunate accident that occurred in his laboratory, which unfortunately caused the brutal and unexpected demise of this respected entomologist. On the morning of this terrible discovery by his colleagues, he has been found lying inert on the floor right in front of his own desk work. According to information relayed by the press and the official confirmations of the coroner who examined the body, he died from accidental poisoning. It must be said and specified that he was working precisely on insect poison and their toxic properties, and that he had just returned from an expedition a few months earlier in order to find and bring back this new species of extremely toxic and rare beetle. That doesn't leave much room for chance, don't you think? He had undertaken a voyage a few months earlier, accompanied by another researcher by the name of Mr. Dutel. During this perilous expedition, they managed to discover this absolutely extraordinary new specimen in the most remote and inhospitable regions of Siberia. Well, to be more precise, it was rather Mr. Dutel who discovered it. They brought it back with them in order to study it in their Parisian laboratory. The return journey was extremely difficult and dangerous. They had literally brushes with death, nearly perishing from cold in the freezing temperatures and from hunger due to the cruel lack of provisions. Their extraordinary adventures and exploits alone, I remember perfectly, have given rises to the publication of several fascinating articles in the national press at the time. But anyway, I'm wandering off track once again from the main subjects, so let's get back to the matter at hand. Thus, Mr. Thomas was found lying lifeless, his body stretched out before his own work desk one morning last month by none other than Mr. Dutel himself. He was clutching a vial firmly in his right hand. Most of those contents had unfortunately spilled and flown onto the floor, forming a small puddle that was strangely more brownish than greenish. Slightly viscous in texture and murky in appearance, this mysterious mixture was the fruit and direct result of his numerous experiments and meticulous research conducted with the toxic beetles. He had acquired the well-established habits for many years already of testing and administering to himself his own brews, potion, and preparation derived from his scientific experiments, but he always took the essential precaution of dosing the quantities very lightly, with extreme caution and care, out of legitimate fear and dread, as you can well imagine, of poisoning himself fatally. It was precisely for this reason that his sudden and brutal demise took absolutely everyone by surprise. Without a single exception, no one could have foreseen or imagined such a tragic outcome. Mr. Dutel was the one who discovered and came upon the lifeless body first that morning. Seeing him thus lying there, motionless and unresponsive, he rushed immediately and without losing a second to call for help and alert the other colleagues present in the building. But it was unfortunately far too late to hope to save or revive him. Life has left and abandoned him several long hours ago already, his body having become cold and rigid. His heart had, according to the formal and definitive conclusion of the coroner, who examined the body with attention, stopped beating definitely around 11 o'clock the previous evening, or perhaps more precisely around midnight. This period and time frame correspond exactly to the moment when Mr. Dumas and Mr. Dutel had both gone together to the Théâtre du Châtelet, located at the center of Paris, to attend a theatrical performance, enjoy themselves pleasantly, and clear their minds a bit after long days of intense work and tedious studies. Mr. Thomas had categorically refused and declined the invitation to accompany them, but that was without any surprise to his colleagues. The latter did not particularly like worldly entertainment, social outing, and public spectacles. He was far too absorbed, captivated, and fascinated by this devouring and obsessive passion for insects. Following this long and highly interesting discussion with the young student, Mr. Derato, who had shown himself particularly verbose and detailed in his explanation, I politely asked him to kindly show and present to me the famous toxic beetles that Mr. Thomas was studying with such attention that evening, as well as the personal work desk of our unfortunate victim. Absolutely nothing has been moved, modified, or touched since the terrible tragedies that had occurred. Even though the museum desperately lacks space for its numerous researchers, no one among the staff or colleagues dare touch anything whatsoever, or even approach or disturb this place that had become almost sacred due to the tragic circumstances. This particular situation suited me well and played perfectly in my favor, for I was absolutely certain and convinced that numerous revealing clues and crucial pieces of evidence were still present at this location, and I was deeply persuaded, with a conviction that kept growing stronger with each passing moment, that this so-called unfortunate and accidental tragedy, as everyone around me seems to agree to call it and repeat it with disconcerting ease, has absolutely nothing, but really nothing whatsoever unfortunate or accidental about its true nature. On the contrary, according to my experience, everything in this affair has been carefully calculated, orchestrated, planned, and premeditated with methodical precision and cold determination. It now remains to discover and determine who was the culprit of that crime and what their true motivation were. And that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching the video all the way through. Feel free to like the video and follow me to see what happens next in Annabelle Underwood's incredible adventures. See you soon. Bye bye.